Hi everyone! We hope you've enjoyed our series so far. For our final wrap-up video, we'd like to bust some common domestic violence myths. I'm Miriam, a community domestic violence counselor here at Respond.
And I'm Kristen, I'm also one of the community domestic violence counselors at Respond.
Hey Kristen, is it true that domestic violence is always physical?
No, it is not. Domestic violence happens in all different types of ways. There's physical, mental, verbal, financial, sexual, all different types of abuse. It's not just physical. Miriam, is it true that domestic violence only happens to straight, low-income women?
Nope, it's not true. Domestic violence can happen in all types of relationships, and it can happen to men, to women, to non-binary people, to transgender people. Doesn't matter what kind of relationship you're in, it can end up being abusive. And so it's important to listen to people and not judge based on the stereotype. Hey Kristen, is it true that if they're posting cute Instagram pictures of their partner, the couple has to be happy, right?
Not always. We don't know what goes on behind the lens when you post an Instagram picture or a social media post. Oftentimes people are really just trying to post the highlights of their life or what they want people to perceive as their life. So oftentimes when people aren't in happy relationships, they want to post on social media this idea that they are, and they want people to think that they are in a safe and happy relationship. Miriam, is it true that you should always do what makes your partner happy?
Nope. Sometimes it's good to make your partner happy, but sometimes compromise doesn't always work. You should make sure to keep your boundaries if those are important to you, and to make sure that what's going on in the relationship makes you happy as well. You should not always be having to bend to your partner's will. If they're trying to control you, that's not a good sign. Hey Kristen, is it true that if a couple is always together, they must be in love?
Not necessarily. Couples always being together can be a sign of violence in the relationship. If you notice your friend is always with their partner, always with their boyfriend, always with their girlfriend, and it's really hard to get them to have some quality friend time with you, then that could be a sign that maybe things are going on that you don't know about. Isolation is a huge factor in domestic violence, and often partners will try to remove their partner's support systems and isolate them so that they're the only person they have. So when couples are always together and you can't get your friend to spend time with just you, you may want to try and ask and see what's going on behind the relationship. Hey Miriam, is it true that if someone doesn't leave a violent relationship, it must be that they like to be abused?
No, not at all. Sometimes it can be really, really hard to leave this relationship, and it ends up being a really damaging stereotype that a victim of an abusive relationship would leave if they didn't like it. There are a lot of barriers in the way. Sometimes, if they've been with you for a long time, they're dependent on their partner. Sometimes there's peer pressure to stay with the partner, whether that's social media or going to school with them. There are a lot of things that can keep you in a relationship, including fear. Sometimes they're actually afraid of their partner will do to them, or afraid the abuse will become worse if they try to leave. So it's important to help people leave a relationship and not judge because they haven't left yet.
Hopefully over the series of videos you learned a lot about teen dating violence and just domestic violence in general. Please, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to our hotline, 617-623-5900, and we will answer any questions you have. And if you are experiencing domestic violence in your relationship, please feel free to reach out to this list of resources.